What's going on? It's your nerdy friend A.K.A. here. Welcome you guys back to another Iruna Online gameplay video of mine. And today we're going to be upgrading the Esmeralda Claw to max. Now the Esmeralda Claw is a wind elemental critical based claw that deals primarily wind damage and crit damage. Now the initial stats of this particular claw is crit +4, evasion +8%, so it's really good if you are an agility type beast knight. You have a lot of evasion, whereas I'm not an agility type beast knight, so the evasion does help, but it's not really too much useful. It gives magic resistance -20%, as most of the claws in this game does do, and it also gives critical rate up by chance of attack. So by chance of attack, this claw can give you a 100% crit rate increase. So if you are in a situation where we're using this claw and your beast knight doesn't have max crit, by chance of attack, this claw can proc crit rate up, which will give you maximum 100% crit rate. So you can insta crit with this claw, no problem. Like I said before, it's a wind elemental claw, so it's an elemental claw that does a lot of damage with wind element. So if you fight any mobs that are wind element based, it will deal a lot of damage with those mobs. Now the first area that we have to go to, the first town that we have to go to upgrade this claw from its Mark 1 form to its Mark 2 form is Fort Balloon. Now Fort Balloon has the Esmeralda Mark 2 claw, and the following items that you need to upgrade this claw is 5 agility +5 crystals, well 2, not 5, I'm sorry about that. It needs 4 Gale Shrieks, and 4 Raging Waves, as long as 300k Spina in order to craft the weapon. So we're gonna hit and click strength again, skip that, and there we go. We have Esmeralda Mark 2 slot, so we're gonna go ahead and check out the base stats. So our base attack rose from about 162 to 167, which is not really that high at all. We got about a 5+ points added to our base attack for this claw, as well as we got 1 more point added to our defense, so this claw gives 3 defense instead of 2. Now for the new stats for the claw, we've got critical damage +2%, which is really good because we need crit damage on our beast knights in order to deal a bunch of damage and have good tankiness and stuff like that. We still have the negative magic resistance -20% on us. We did get a 2% increase in our evasion. We went from 8% of evasion to 10%, and we also got 1 point added to our crit. So instead of us getting crit +3, we got crit +4. So that is it for Esmeralda Mark 2. Now we gotta go ahead and head on down to Underground Balloon to upgrade Esmeralda Mark 2 to its Mark 3 form. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and run down these steps and talk to our boys Diron again. So the following materials that you may need to craft Esmeralda Mark 3 with is you will need, let's see right here, you will need 1 werewolf's claw, 15 sharp feathers, and 30 hard scales, along with 500k Spina in order to craft Esmeralda Claw Mark 2 to Mark 3. So we're gonna go ahead and click next, click strengthen again, skip through all that jazz, and there we go. We have Esmeralda Claw Mark 3. Now the Mark 3 version of this claw gets a huge increase in base attack damage. Our base attack went from around 167 to 227, so we got a really high increase in our base damage. We got an increase in our critical damage. Our magic resistance remained the same. We still have our 100% crit rate up by chance of attack buff. Our Esmeralda Claw switched elements from Wind Element to Thunder Element, and if just in case you guys don't know, Thunder Element and Wind Element in this game is pretty much the same element. It's just Thunder Element is like another form, or like the secondary form of Wind Element. So whenever you see any equipment like this that says Thunder Element, it's pretty much Wind Element, so just don't get confused by the two. They're not two separate elements. The Wind Element and the Thunder Element are the same. But anyways, this claw gives Thunder Element now instead of Wind Element, which is, like I said before, still the same. It gave us an increase in our crit, so we went from getting crit +4 to crit +10, so over 6 points added to our crit stat, as well as we got a 5% increase in our evasion, and we got a new stat, which is maximum MP +15%, which is really good for having a high MP pool to spam skills like Beast/Tyrant's Edge, or to use buff skills like Restoration, Protection, and Warcry. So that's it for Esmeralda Mark 3. Now we're going to go ahead and head on down to the new city, which is Variant City, to upgrade this claw from its Mark 3 form to its Mark 4 form. Now, the items that you need to upgrade its Mark 4 form, you're going to need 5 amethyst claws, you're going to need 15 blue tail feathers, as well as 15 cracked ears, which is what you see here. Hold on, I accidentally clicked off of the upgrade. Let me just hurry up back to it for you guys. I'm sorry about that. Let's see. Okay, back here. So we need 1 Esmeralda Mark 3. We need 5 amethyst claws, 15 blue tail feathers, as well as 15 cracked ears, and 1,300,000 spina in order to craft Esmeralda Mark 3 to Esmeralda Mark 4. So we're going to go ahead and click next, click strengthen because we have all these items. We're going to click strengthen again, go ahead and skip through the upgrade process, and there we go, we have Esmeralda Mark 4. Now for the base attack, we got another huge increase in base attack damage for the Esmeralda claw. We started off at 162 for the Mark 1 version, then we went to 167 for the Mark 2 version. Then for the Mark 3 version, we went from 167 to 227, and now for the Mark 4 version, we went from 227 to 277 base attack. So this has a really high attack along with my Prox Claw. So Esmeralda Claw is one of my highest damage dealing claws in terms of base attack. As you know, because it's right in the runner-up with Prox Claw, it's one of my second highest damage dealing claws, as well as it got a increase in the defense department. It went from having 3 defense to 5 defense, and as far as the stats goes for this claw, it gives critical damage plus 6% now, still same magic resistance minus 20%, still gives critical rate up by chance of attack, still thunder element. It gotten Jesus Christ, I don't know why I can't talk. It's gotten a 3-point increase in crit, so instead of me getting crit plus 10, I got crit plus 13 now. I got another 5 points added to my evasion, so instead of me getting evasion plus 15%, now I'm getting evasion plus 20%, as well as my maximum MP went from plus 15% to plus 20%, so I got a plus 5 percentage added to that as well. And you know, this thought is clear. So this claw is amazing in terms of raw damage as well as critical damage. Now, of course, it doesn't give as much critical damage as some of the other claws that I may have in my arsenal may give. This by far possibly gives one of the lowest critical damage numbers out of all the claws that I do have currently on my Beast Knight, but it does give a substantial boost in terms of base attack. My base attack rose on this claw from 1k to 1.6k, almost reaching 7k with the Warcry buff. And we're gonna go ahead and equip our Curse Mangle, make sure that's equipped, so that way we can go test out the damage numbers on this claw to see how much damage this claw can possibly do now. So beforehand, whenever I use this claw, I would only get a maximum of 3k to 5k critical damage, maybe even 6k critical damage if I was lucky. In terms of the normal damage, I would get at least like 3 to 4k. So we're gonna go ahead and check and see how much damage we can get now with this claw. So we are looking in terms of critical damage, we're getting between 4k to 7k with this claw. So that's really good. We got a really good base increase in terms of critical damage. We're gonna go ahead and kill this top net one more time just so we can see. So we're getting a lot of 4k crits damage. So pretty much our base damage for this claw is 4k, and our highest damage that we can possibly get is 7k. Now we're going to go ahead and test the Beast Slash damage. Now the Beast Slash damage ranges from around 4.4k to 5k, and the bleed proc damage is still around 1500. So we are still doing a little decent amount of damage with Beast Slash with this claw. And as far as Tyrant's Edge goes, we are dealing now 23k damage to normal mobs using Tyrant's Edge a piece, so that's over 40 something k just for 2 Tyrant's Edge claws right there. So I would say that this is definitely a claw well worth getting, especially if you're trying to get a claw that has wind element / thunder element on it. This is a really good claw to get. Like I said before, this claw has a really high base attack on it. Of course, if you have a Esmeralda Mark 1 that has, like, say, a base attack of 170, you could possibly get your base attack all the way up to 280. However, mine's had a 162 base attack, so the base attack for it when I upgraded to its Mark 4 form is 227, but it's still a very high base attack number for this claw. And like I said before, it puts it right up in the same bracket, damage bracket with Proc's Claw. So this is a really good claw to get. It gives crit rate up by chance of attack, which really helps me, and because of the fact that I don't have max crit yet, so I can keep consistent orange crits with this claw, especially if I equip my glory along with this claw, because glory does the same thing. It gives me crit rate up by chance of attack, so by chance of attack that additional as well as this claw will keep my crits up consistently, so I can deal tons of damage. And I just walked back into the city. But anyways, guys, that's gonna go ahead and do it for this video. So if you guys did like the video, make sure to drop a like or drop a comment down below for whatever the case may be. But without further ado, thank you everybody ever so much for watching. Arigato to all my little charmanders out there. Keep spreading the fire and the love, and I'll see all you guys in the next video and or stream. Peace out for now.